if you are watching this and you subscribed for Black Ops Cold War, you don't watch my new content, and you don't like any of the new Call of Duty games for whatever reason it may be, then honestly just unsubscribe. What's going on, my fellow troops? My name is Xavvo, and welcome back to a brand new video. So, today, guys, we are going to be discussing Cold War and my content, because this is actually a lot more of a discussion than it might sound. So, as you saw from the title, it's probably just titled as Black Ops Cold War, or something like that, or whatever the hell it's titled as. So I want to just talk about that game and how it's really affecting my audience and my content and all that kind of stuff. For some reason, I'm noticing in general that this is a weird issue with modern Call of Duty games where people don't feel willing to try them out, or they don't want to play them, or they just don't like them, even if they are objectively good. Like, because I mean, you could argue modern COD games aren't objectively good, because if you were to say it's good, it's just subjective. There is truth to that, but when you actually look at Modern Warfare 3, it's a fully complete, fully rounded game, and it's been reviewed by most critics as one of the best multiplayer experiences in COD in recent years, and I can stand by that myself. But for some reason, people still feel like they cannot believe it, like it's some sort of lie, that it's just not true, and they just stick with the older Call of Duty games. And honestly, that's fine. Like, if you want to play the older Call of Duty games, I don't blame you. Like, there is some understanding to that I can get from it. Like, I can see why, because honestly, if these newer COD games went to shit, I would probably just revert back to playing Black Ops 4 all the time, to be honest with you. And that was the last time I actually had extreme fun with Call of Duty, like, where I felt like I could just play it for the fun. And then maybe Modern Warfare 2019. But then every other year, it's just kind of been like, I play it because it's kind of fun, but I also, make videos on it, which gives me more fun to it, because I can actually do interesting stuff for videos and camo grind and do stuff in game. But the last time I actually played a game just for the hell of it, for the fun, was probably Black Ops 4. So I can understand where people come from, where they just kind of want to play Black Ops Cold War still. But this is where it affects my content, because I basically, if you don't remember, back in 2022, I made a ton of class setups for Black Ops Cold War Zombies. I pretty much covered every single primary weapon, I think, in that game. I think I just avoided maybe pistols, but I basically just covered all the assault rifles, SMGs, everything, just all of those primary weapons that you could make class setups for, and they did exceptionally well. I mean, some of them were breaking over 20k views on them. I think the first ever one I did, which was on the, I'm not even sure what it's called, the Hauer, I think it was, the Hauer 77 or whatever it's called, that shotgun. The first one I covered, the first one I covered, and this was when I wasn't even sure about content in zombies. I just thought, hell, I'll just do it anyway. I'll make a class setups for zombies as opposed to what most people do, which is multiplayer. And it did so well. The first video got like thousands of views. People really liked it. So I was like, okay, I'll cover the Gallo. And same thing. The Gallo shotgun class video got thousands of views. And it just kept on being like a snowball effect every time I uploaded a Cold War class setup. But as much as I loved that at the time, that was just during the lifespan. That was when Cold War was still the current game. That was basically when Vanguard was about to come out, or maybe Vanguard had come out and I was still covering some content for it before I moved over. But that was generally part of the game. That was just me covering content in Cold War because that was the current game. And that's what I've done every single year, and that's what most content creators in the Call of Duty space have also done. They cover class setups or updates or whatever it may be, funny moments, gameplays, you name it, all that sort of stuff. They cover that in that current game when it's popular, when they're actually playing it, and then they move on to the next game. Unless it's a complete atrocity like Vanguard, then yes, a lot of people did move back to Cold War, which I totally understand, but I still posted Vanguard because I had some element of fun to it, and so I just kind of felt it was more fun to play, I guess. I don't know. I just had something to cover, at least, and there was new content coming out. And basically, I've just done what everybody else does. I just cover the game that I'm playing, and for some reason, for me anyway, it's affecting my content a lot more than it is with other creators. And obviously, I know, as you might have seen, I've had a decent amount of my videos recently do really well. My Modern Warfare 3 class setups, my most recent one that's done exceptionally well was the top best base camos for Modern Warfare 3. That one's garnered well over 7,000 views, which I didn't expect, honestly. I mean, I did kind of have to plan it all out and get a whole notepad and list everything and talk through them all for a good minute. But it wasn't like you know, I wasn't expecting it. I guess that's the surprise of the algorithm. You never know which one's going to do well. It's always the one you least expect, I guess. So those ones have done pretty well. But that aside, my videos typically are not doing so well, or they don't really get many interactions with them. And if they do get interactions, as far as statistics wise, it's impressions. And impressions are people basically clicking or just sort of hovering over a video or looking at it, but not actually bothering to watch it or interact. And that's where it seems to be going wrong. I'm looking at my videos and I'm seeing that there's thousands of impressions. So thousands of people are seeing my videos in maybe their sub feed, they're suggested in search results, in the homepage. I guarantee it wouldn't be search page so much because people most likely are going to click videos on there that they've searched for, but it'll be more prevalent with like the homepage and the sub box and all that kind of stuff and suggested videos page. So it's mainly that kind of thing where people see them but aren't interacting. And I think the reason there's so many impressions but so little views is actually because of my subscriber count. As you guys can see, we're nearing in on 4,000 subscribers, which is awesome, by the way. It's awesome. I'm happy about that. But the trouble is, a lot of these people don't actually want to watch the Modern Warfare 3 content. A lot of these people, as you guessed, came from Black Ops Cold War content, and there's still a lot of people still subscribing for that kind of content. But the thing is, I don't make videos on Black Ops Cold War anymore, and I haven't for 2 years now. So I really don't know what to do, honestly, in this situation. I've made community posts kind of asking people for more guidance about what kind of content they want to watch, and, you know, I've given people polls to vote on, and yeah, sure, they get some responses, but it's not really anything I would be surprised by. It's just generally people saying they're not interested in the game I'm playing, they want more Cold War. Some of them are like tutorials, please, you know, gameplays. And I've done that before, may I add. I've made Cold War gameplays where I'm just simply having fun playing the game and just kind of having maybe some jokey experience with it, and they still don't do that well. So I don't really know where those votes are actually trying to lead my channel. But anyway, the point is, I have seen the polls, I've seen the community posts that I've put up. They've gotten some traction to them, but the only trouble is with those is they date pretty quickly. They stopped getting shown, and community posts are quite small, so you can literally miss them very easily inside of a sub feed or in a homepage. You're just not going to see them. They're not really going to stay around. Whilst the video can be suggested to anyone after months, it can always get suggested, and hell, if it's that successful, videos can get shown to people years after they've been uploaded. So videos have a lot more longevity and a lot more relevance than community posts have, and that makes sense, honestly, because posts are just supposed to be a simple thing to interact with the community, nothing more, nothing less. But yeah, so the point is, I've acknowledged a lot of people want me to play Cold War, they want me to make videos on it, and the most I can do is kind of make revisit videos, because that's really as much as there is for content. That's kind of what most Call of Duty channels do now. They make occasional revisits, but outside of that, there isn't a lot there to cover for content. It's not going to really do as well in the algorithm, and it's not like you can really have that much fun if you're not really finding a lot to talk about or to do that's different every video. And I get it, there's some channels that just do gameplays, like they're just really good at the game, and all fair play to them, honestly. If you're really good at Call of Duty and you just play the game because you're good at it and people watch because of that, that's fine. But I make videos because I want to entertain people. I want people to kind of just enjoy watching me, I guess. And I also want to provide some sort of help without completely milking tutorials, because as much as people like tutorials, I don't know if you class the class setups as tutorials, but I don't really want to make a full return to them because it really damages the channel even more than it already is. It causes so much more inactivity. People end up expecting just tutorials and they don't care for anything else that you want to do with your channel. So that's something I kind of stopped doing full swing like years ago. But I understand it, right? People want to find stuff that helps them more than it's just kind of a random video they've sat through for 10 minutes and they can't get that 10 minutes back. I understand it. Like, there's some rationale to it, but at the end of the day, like, the most I can do is what everyone else does, and it's returning to Cold War. I can still make this is the state of Cold War in 2024. I can do that because I did that with Black Ops 4 recently. That's got a few hundred views, so I can always do a video like that, like this is the state of Black Ops Cold War in 2024. I probably will be doing that very soon, but that aside, I'm not that kind of content creator who just plays the game and just messes about in it. I like to do that a bit, but it's more or less like focusing on some form of topic or content related discussion or update, and there's nothing new there for Cold War, you know? And so that's where the trouble seems to be lying, I guess, as far as content creation. So if you are watching this and you subscribed for Black Ops Cold War, you don't watch my new content, and you don't like any of the new Call of Duty games for whatever reason it may be, then honestly just unsubscribe. I think I've said this a few times on the channel, but I have no hard feelings for people who unsub who are never watching anyway, because it literally just means that the ratio of active to inactive just gets decreased, essentially. So there's more active to less inactive. That's what happens, instead of it being this is how much is active and then all this is just inactive, you know? Like, I might as well clear out those people if they don't watch what I do at the moment, or they just don't care about me, I guess. I don't know. I just find it's a bit like upsetting that people don't want to watch me for me, and they only care about the game I'm playing, and if the game isn't something they like, they just don't care at all, but they'll stay subbed anyway. I don't really understand that. It makes no sense. And generally speaking, if you haven't tried Modern Warfare 3, I am urging you to give it a go. I'm serious. I'm really serious. Like, this is probably one of the best COD games I have played in recent years. Sure, maybe you could say, well, overall it's not the best because it has maybe a mediocre short campaign. I haven't really played most of it. I've played some of it. I kind of gave up on it, couldn't be arsed, but I might pick it up at some point. As far as zombies, it's actually fairly decent. It's not that bad of an experience. Granted, I did prefer some elements of Cold War zombies better, because it was, even though it was rinse repeat and it got boring very quickly, it was a nice formula at least, and round-based was probably more preferable than it is with the whole open world thing. But I think Modern Warfare 3 Zombies has more long-term playability, I guess, because it just doesn't feel like the same thing over and over. You can actually do a lot more with an open world experience than you can with just grabbing every perk, every pack-a-punch, and then sitting in a corner for 20 minutes. Like, you can actually do more with this version of zombies, so it is actually a lot of fun. And multiplayer, like I say, is one of the best multiplayer experiences we've had in years. It just feels really well-rounded. It has lots of nice features returned from all the Call of Duty games. You get a lot of remastered maps that you can play. You've got just the perfect perk system. Class setups feel nice. You've got back to 5 standard attachments. There's not all these ridiculous numbers of attachments you could get like in Vanguard, or I don't know if Cold War had a ridiculous number. I think it was just 5 as well, right? But you can actually just feel that this game is actually more well-rounded, and it's, as much as it looks and feels kind of like Modern Warfare 2, it's much better. It's faster. So I don't know where the hate is for Modern Warfare 3, but I can understand it with Modern Warfare 2. But as far as Modern Warfare 3 goes, that's the game I'm playing, and I want to make videos on it. It's not like I'm forcing myself. Genuinely, if I wasn't playing Modern Warfare 3, I probably wouldn't know what else to make videos on. I heard X Defiant came out recently, but that aside, I don't have any real urge to go on the older games, because like I say, there's not much to keep me invested there. And I'm not really just a gameplay-oriented kind of guy. I don't just play games for gameplay. I wish I could, but I'm not that good at Call of Duty, and I'm certainly not that gameplay-oriented like I once was, maybe when I was 14, and I could just play COD for the hell of it. It's sad, I know, but I actually like to have something to work towards, and yeah, I do have DM Ultra to do for multiplayer. I've actually kind of talked about this a bit. I'm kind of interested in doing Cold War's multiplayer grind, which is DM Ultra, but obviously I'd have to have the time aside to do that, and if I'm doing that, that will mean spending a lot of time in the game, which means I'd have to be covering the game most likely as well, because imagine trying to spend 95% of your time camera grinding in an older game and then coming back to the new game and acting like you know what's going on. Like, it's just, that would be a mess. So I do definitely want to put some time aside at some point to do DM Ultra at some point. That might be next year, it could be in 5 months, it could be in 2 weeks, I don't know. I do kind of want to do it though. That aside, there's not a lot to work towards. There's not a lot other than a camo grind I could potentially go back and do to actually look forward to, especially with all the sweats and hackers now in Cold War. Like, people still experience some hacking situations and whatnot, DDoSing. It's not exactly a super stable game to be playing all the time, but hopefully you guys enjoyed, at least. I don't know if I'll stop like plugging at the end of the video to check out all my links, because I feel like you don't need me to tell you that. You can just scroll to the description if you want and be like, oh, I want to follow him on Instagram, or oh, I want to see what else he's got. And I guess if you want, you can check him out, everything down below. Just to keep this as short as I can without blabbering any longer, thank you everyone for watching. And again, like I say, don't feel pressure. If you don't want to watch my new content, just unsubscribe. It's not a big deal. And to any of you who do watch my Modern Warfare 3 content, just whatever I'm playing, and you enjoy watching me, like, thank you just for being here. It means an awful lot. And hopefully, as much as this might sound sound like it's really bad and it's depressing. This has been the case, I think, each year where I've had like inactivity or my average views haven't been that high. So this is kind of a normal thing on my channel, I guess, but it still doesn't change the fact that I wish more people were interested in what I'm posting now. So yeah, anyway, thank you again, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.